It was the kind of moment that silences an entire arena. Not with tension, but with heartbreak. With just over 3 minutes left on the clock, Boston Celtics superstar Jayson Tatum collapsed to the hardwood, clutching his right ankle, his face contorted in visible pain. As the playoff intensity at Madison Square Garden reached its boiling point, one of the NBA's brightest stars was being lifted off the floor, not in triumph, but in agony. What was already a night of playoff drama took a gut-wrenching turn as Tatum, after dropping a Herculean 42-point performance, was carried off the court by team trainers. He couldn't put any weight on his right leg. Seconds later, cameras captured him being placed into a wheelchair in the tunnel, his head buried in his hands as the weight of the moment, both literal and symbolic, settled in. The Knicks were leading 111 to 104 at the time of the injury. They would go on to close out a 121 to 113 win, taking a commanding 3-1 series lead in the Eastern Conference semifinals. But when the final buzzer rang, the scoreboard felt almost secondary. The reigning NBA champions were now one game away from elimination, and possibly without their cornerstone. The collapse that shook Boston with 3:12 remaining in the fourth quarter. Tatum drove to the basket, twisting awkwardly as he landed. The arena gasped. Boston's bench stood frozen. Tatum grimaced, motioned immediately for a timeout, and then crumpled to the floor. He didn't try to get up. That alone told you everything you needed to know. The Celtics medical team rushed out. Tatum, visibly shaken, tried but failed to rise. There was no hobbling to the bench. There was no dramatic limp. He was lifted, physically and emotionally broken in that moment. Head coach Joe Mazzulla kept it vague post-game, calling it a lower body injury. An MRI was scheduled for Tuesday. But anyone watching knew this was more than just a rolled ankle. The look on Tatum's face said it all. NBA Brotherhood reacts. The response was swift. Around the league, players, fans, and analysts flooded social media with support. None louder than LeBron James, who tweeted out his well wishes moments after the footage of Tatum in the wheelchair surfaced. "Prayers up, JT!" LeBron posted. This wasn't just a blow to Boston, it was a gut punch to the NBA. Tatum is more than just a scorer. He's one of the faces of the league, a player who was on track to rewrite playoff history. And now, his postseason journey might be over. Tatum's masterpiece. Cut short before the injury, Tatum was having that kind of night, the kind that legends are built on. He dropped 42 points on 16 of 28 shooting, including 7 of 16 from deep. He filled the stat sheet with 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. A two-way masterpiece on the biggest stage. He looked like the best player on the planet. Every shot, every drive, every defensive rotation felt like a statement. For 3.5 quarters, Tatum was doing everything in his power to will the Celtics back into this series. But it wasn't enough, because on the other side, Jalen Brunson was building a legend of his own. Brunson answers the call. If Tatum was fire, Brunson was ice. Calm, calculated, cold-blooded. He poured in 39 points and 12 assists, slicing through Boston's defense with surgical precision. His third quarter was the stuff of postseason legend. 18 points, 7 of 11 shooting, and a commanding presence that flipped the game on its head. New York had trailed by 14 points midway through the third. Boston was rolling. The Garden crowd had gone quiet, and then Brunson happened. With the Celtics stumbling from deep, Brunson took over. He orchestrated a 37-point third quarter, the highest scoring period by either team in the series. When the dust settled, the Knicks had turned a 72-58 deficit into an 88-85 lead entering the fourth. The three-point roulette Boston's season-long dependence on the three-pointer has always been a double-edged sword, and once again, it cut deep. In Game 1, the Celtics shot a horrific 15 of 60 from beyond the arc, setting an NBA playoff record with 45 missed threes. Game 2? More of the same. 10 of 40, and another home loss. Game 3 brought the highs, 20 of 40 from deep and a dominant bounce-back win. But in Game 4, it was a tale of two halves. Boston started hot, hitting 12 of 24 threes in the first half. It felt like Game 3 all over again as they raced to a 62-51 halftime lead, but the heater fizzled out. In the second half, the Celtics went ice cold, just 6 of 24 from 3. That cold streak allowed New York to close the gap and then take full control. The final tally, 18 of 48 from 3, 37.5%. Respectable on paper, but the second half drought came at the worst possible time. The final moments. Even with the Knicks seizing momentum, Boston didn't go quietly. Tatum tied the game at 102-102 with a tough and one finish, flexing as he converted the free throw. But that would be